eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. The samstudios.app also includes the unlocker. Learn to unlock phones from the professionals for free. The clean and intuitive layout, finding breaking news articles and deals in tech has never been easier. Watch and listen to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and podcast from within the app. Additional features include easy Gcam download and installation, the Android Flash tool, and sign up for our weekly giveaway drawing. Download the eSIM Studios mobile app at simstudios.app and find us on YouTube by simply searching eSIM Studios.
Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing. Think you're cool with iOS 18. Android had those features back in 2018. Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing. Think you're cool with iOS 18. Android had those features back in 2018. Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing.
All right, welcome back. eSIM Studios podcast, live stream episode number 157. On today, Monday, July 22nd, 2024. Appreciate everybody joining in here. Let me clear my throat. Just sat down while I was running the intros. Had a couple of things to do. Give me a second. Apologize about that. So, we have some, got a couple good stories, a couple good topics, a couple good breaking news stories, tech stories that we will get into today. So that's what we do here at eSIM Studios. Now, if you're watching this on the many different platforms that I'm streaming this on, the eSIM Studios YouTube channel is our home base, so to speak, for tech in the YouTube application. Now, I'm also streaming on Twitter or X at eSIM Studios X. You can also, I think we're on almost all social media platforms. So, best thing to do if you're looking for something specific wherever we are located, if you want to find us on Facebook, if you want to find us on Instagram, if you want to find us on Twitter, just go to Google and type in eSIM Studios. We will pop up. We've kind of, over this last year or so, I think we're about 2 years old. I take that back. Over the last 8 months or so, we really cornered the market on that name, eSIM Studios. So whenever you type it in Google, tons of our content shows up. So you'll be able to find us from there. Now, I do want to remind everybody, we do have a web app. So an application, eSIMstudios.app. Try to make it easy, right? Got a couple of domains, but .app, eSIMstudios.app, that's our web app. You get tech news, tech reviews, published, right, by me, online publication by me. We also have giveaways there. We have the Android Flash tool. We have, if you're interested in an eSIM, what is an eSIM? We explain that. The best places to get free service to try an eSIM. We also have how to protect yourself from a SIM swap, right? Very dangerous, but we do have you covered. Basically, anything, if it involves tech, it involves eSIM Studios. Now, eSIMstudios.store, that is our store, eSIMstudios.store. I told you I was trying to make it easy for everybody. Is where we have phones for sale. We're getting merchandise up and running for sale. So eSIMstudios.store. And last but not least, you can always catch the replay, right? So if you catch us halfway through or on the tail end of a story or a topic or information that you were dying to that you absolutely needed to know, just catch the replay, right? These will live on YouTube as long as YouTube, is up and running and the eSIM Studios channel is up and running. I don't have any plans of taking these off, so you can always hit the replay on YouTube, but come back to the eSIM Studios channel and podcast. We are in the audio form podcast. We're on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio Music app. Wherever you listen to podcasts, hit that little search icon again and type in eSIM Studios and we should pop up. I think I'm getting used to the auto framing. I've had this camera for about a week now. There we go. Pretty cool. It's a little more pricier than I thought, but I think it's worth it. We haven't had anything crash yet, so it's definitely worth it then. And we'll get into quote unquote cameras in probably towards the end. So this is not going to be a long one. I got stuff to do. I'm sure y'all do too. But we can make a little time for tech every single day. Every day. Whether it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Tech every day here at eSIM Studios. Hell, I even did it in my car one time. When I couldn't do it in the studio. Okay, a little difficult, right? Can't see and just have to go off the top of my brain while I'm driving, but hands on the wheel. It's all good. So, I was trying to think, what's the lead story today, right? Because we have iPhone. We have iPhone news. We have AMD news, CPU news, chip news, and we have Google news, Pixel news, as well as an application that I'll probably do an app review of here pretty soon. I just recorded the unboxing of this new Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. Not a big fan of wearables, but this is pretty cool. Now, if you say, well, what's the difference between the 7 and the 6? Because I did have the 6 for a short period of time before we gave it away. That's a good question. I think it's a little more refined. So if you dig through the details, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because that's what the review and the unboxing is for. Now, I uploaded the unboxing. It will go live later tonight. But in the details, not much has changed from the looks of it on the outside. Now, it is a little bit more refined. Basic same design language as the Watch 6, right? You get new bands, obviously. The internals are upgraded slightly, a little better CPU. I think they give it a bump of 500 megabytes of RAM. Just a little, it's just it gets a little better and a little better and a little better. But they have this. This is not the Ultra. Couldn't do the Ultra, but I didn't need the Ultra. I'm not a big wearable fan, but I'm gonna wear this, track my health, I guess. I don't know. And we'll give it a go, but that's later to come, right? So let's do that. Let's go ahead and let's just go and jump right into the iPhone stuff, right? So, and then we'll go into Pixel, AMD news, and then the app news. So, iPhone 16 series launching. Do we have a specific launch date? I know it's mid to late September. Is it him? It's not officially been announced. They have not officially sent out invites, but it's always traditionally every single year it's in mid September, right? So anywhere between, I don't know, anywhere between September 15th to 20th, probably somewhere around there. We got new devices, and it kind of rolled into this watch. Well, what's new about this watch from the last watch? I mean, there are some changes, but I mean, is it enough to make you switch and upgrade if you have the Watch 6? Probably not. And then my mind immediately went to iPhone, because similar type of thinking, right? As you know, iPhone's been stuck on I don't say stuck. It is a nice looking design. I think it's just run its course. Now, this will be the last year, and they tweak it they tweak it a little bit. Sometimes they don't have to, but they do it on purpose, just so you have to buy new cases, just so you have to buy new accessories. This should be the last year in this current design language, right? Meaning the way that the iPhone 15 looks pretty damn similar to an iPhone 12, right? So the iPhone 16 that's coming out is going to look pretty damn similar to an iPhone 12. However, this time next year, so for the iPhone 17 series, we can expect them to start making some changes, noticeable changes to the design, right? So it looks a little different. And we'll get into that one later, obviously, as time goes on and we get closer to next year's launch. But let's get into this one, because there are some subtle changes, and I think one key change that I think is very, very smart, very strategic, and I think it's going to fly under a lot of people's radars. Now, we did get word today that the iPhone SE, you remember the SE, the small one, cheaper one? Actually, I think it's really small. The current one, when was the last one they put out? 2022? It's got like a, 4.5 inch display, something pretty small. Well, that's all about to change. So it looks like they've been keeping this under wraps because we haven't really heard anything about this SE model until today. So there's any rumor. Some are putting weight into this rumor and or behind it. It's coming out of China. Take it for what you will, but there's a famous, I don't say famous, but fairly accurate leaker on Weibo. So if you're not familiar with Weibo, it's like their version of social media. So, they're not allowed to have a lot of the same apps we do when it comes to social media or just apps in general. Weibo is like one of their more popular social media apps in China, right? It's allowed, it's legal over there. They do allow it, so a lot of people use it. There's a guy on there who has got some sort of inside information. I don't know where he gets it from, and I'm not going to make any claims, but you can kind of guess, right? Well, I don't know if he works for them or works for a contractor and gets the info that way or what. But he goes by the name Fixed Focus Digital. He said the back plate. So in the manufacturing process, the back of the phone, this back plate right here, is going to be, he said, he in quote, exactly the same as the standard model in Apple's upcoming iPhone 16 lineup. So, what does that mean? That means the backplate of the iPhone SE is going to look exactly like the iPhone 16. Because the 16 will be the base model. Now, if y'all remember what the iPhone 15 looks like, this year they're taking a sort of similar approach to obviously their years past. Now, he did say he doesn't expect them to launch the SE on the same day as the iPhone 16 series, but he did say it will be a short time after. So Apple probably, my guess is right around Christmas time. The SE is known for being a smaller device, packs a punch with the CPU, but at a cheaper price, right? It's like the iPhone you can buy your child for their first phone if they desperately want an iPhone, or it's like an iPhone you can buy your grandparents, right? If they're pretty old and they're not too wild and don't care about what phone to get, but they demand an iPhone. Or you need a second phone. I've actually used an iPhone SE in the past for a second phone, and it does its job, right? Even though it is a powerhouse, it does have a smaller screen. I don't know. It depends, up to you. I don't know too many people in my age bracket, that are iPhone SE users. Now, second phone, well, I get it, but main phone, your daily driver, I don't know. So, in the manufacturing process, he says the iPhone SE4 perfectly matched those molds of the base iPhone model 16 in its current stage. Wow, so this is going to be, it looks like it's going to be essentially like I guess they invented it, right? The A series for Android, right? The Nothing Phone 2A, Pixel 7A, 6A. So now Pixels aren't identical. They look fairly similar, but from all reports, this one's going to be identical size, dimensions, and everything, which is good because that means the iPhone SE is not going to be this old 2000s looking iPhone, right? It should be modern. I don't know if it's going to have what do you call it? Dynamic Island. But let's find out. It's going to start under $500, $499. It's going to have a USB Type-C port and an action button. Touch ID. and the home button will be gone. Sorry. And it will be replaced by Face ID. And I'm getting word here that it's going to have a display notch. So it's not going to have the dynamic island. Remember, the SE had the old home button, and it had the old like iPhone 8 looking style. So they're not going to deck this one out looking like... And they want to keep separation, right? They want to make sure you're getting... They want to keep the regular iPhone models premium. The SE, a budget phone, they want to keep it that way. So they're doing this on purpose. If you wanted if you want the dynamic island, go get an iPhone 16, right? Or one that has it. The SE is probably not for you. And it's probably not going to have a bunch of RAM. It's probably not going to run the AI stuff, right? Display size will get bigger as well. The current iPhone SE, what is that, 2022? SE3 2022 is when it was released. The current one. Screen size on that was 4.7. And this upcoming SE4 is going to have a 6.1 inch display. So there you have it. Now, look at some of these photos. Let me show you the screen right here. That's pretty dope, right? Now, that's a rendering, obviously. It's not a somebody snuck that shot. But iPhone 16, SE4, SE is going to look the same, right? Won't be able to tell. So that's what it's technically going to look like. Now, what is the front going to look like? There you go. Front's going to have, look, it's going to have a nice display. You can get, because here's the thing. At that $499 price point, you can get some badass Android phones. So this is up against some stiff competition. It's not like Apple's just going to throw, just going to fill it up with some generic hardware or some hardware that they're just like, whatever. No, they actually have to put some thought into this, because at that $499, at that $500 price point, Android devices, you can get badass phones. What am I talking about? Now, you can get the Nothing phones, right? The Nothing Phone 2, probably better than the SE4. What else? The OnePlus 12R, in my opinion, better than the SE4. I'm sure there's a couple Pixel devices you can get for about $500. The Pixel 8, the Pixel 8 Pro, you can get that right now. Now, I get it. I'm talking about prices right now. Some people, when they compare stuff, they're talking about prices brand new, right? So an SC4 that comes in for sale at $499, $500, is not going to compete against a 1-year-old Pixel 8 Pro. But you know what? I don't say that. That's not the real world. The real world is right now. So if you got $500 to spend, the world is yours. What are you going to spend it on? Phone-wise. So the iPhone SE4 comes out. It's an option, right? About $500. Or I could get this 1-year-old Pixel 8 Pro for $500. Yeah, give me the Pixel 8 Pro. I'll definitely take that. Right? Or a Nothing Phone 2. You can get it for about $500 right now. Taking the Nothing Phone 2. So I know some people like to only compare new prices versus new prices and don't take into consideration aftermarket prices or a 6-month-old device. Some devices out here, like the ones I'm selling, these things are freaking brand new, like at a huge discount. So I don't like to compare only new prices and new devices together. I like to compare on the market right now. What do they go for? What's going on, Brian? Did you email me with your phone? Maybe you did. I'll check here in a minute. My bad, man. I've been very busy, but I'll check and see with your phone. I'll double check the phone. Daniel, how's it going, man? Okay. All right. I'll check it here. What time do we have? Yeah, give me about 20 minutes. We'll probably wrap it up here. Okay, cool. Now we'll roll into the iPhone 16 stuff, and then I have AMD news here shortly. So that's enough for the iPhone. I think this is the first time I've ever led with SE model for sure. I mean, probably won't ever, but I mean, they're significantly upgrading it. So check these out. Here's the lineup. Can y'all see that? I may have to remove my... Hang on, let me move. So if apparently these are the specs, the final spec sheet. Let me see if I can move this banner. If I remove my... Can y'all still hear me if I remove myself or no? Let me add myself back. I'm not sure if y'all could hear, but... And we can zoom in, and we'll fly through this because I think a lot of this stuff we already knew, right? So, iPhone 16, you're getting the Bionic A18. And remember, this year, last few years, Apple offset their CPUs, right? So the Pro models, including the Pro Max, any model with a Pro in it, would get the latest and greatest CPU, right? And the base models would get last year's flagship CPU. So they would kind of stagger the models. Now that they're rolling into this AI thing, can't really do that anymore, right? You got to have the power and you got to have the RAM to run these AI models. Side note, and maybe we'll get into this, not today, but sometime before the launch. I don't think Apple knows what they're doing when it comes to this AI stuff. I think they have no clue of what's going on. And I think I have some examples that kind of proves my point. That I think they're kind of clueless when it comes to this AI stuff. But we'll save that for another day. So they're giving all iPhone 16 models the flagship CPU. Bionic A18. Now look, here are the pros right here. 18 Pro, A18 Pro. So I'm sure it'll be overclocked. I'm sure it'll be something to give it that Pro name, right? They got to upgrade it to give it a Pro moniker. Yeah. I was having, I guess when I removed myself, the audio was removed too. My other microphone, I could still talk with my camera not there, but don't worry about it. It's all good. Thank you. What else we got? RAM. I'll get 8 gigs of RAM. and then all have storage 256 up to 1 terabyte. Screen size, the 16 comes in at 6.3. Wow, they're doing this. Yo, are they serious? They're doing the 16 Plus and the 16 Ultra, the same screen size. Now, I mean, you're probably like, duh, they've done that in the past. Yeah, I get that. But I was under assumption their iPhone 16 Ultra is going to be a gargantuan device, bigger than the S24 Ultra. I thought they were going to kind of make that. I thought they were going to have different size. So I thought they were going to keep the 16 Plus at like a 6.7 inch display and then do the iPhone 16 Pro Max or whatever you want to call it. Or what does it say? Ultra here? I don't think they're going to change the name. I thought they were going to put the 16 Pro Max at I knew they were going to put it at a 6.9. I just didn't think they were going to do the Plus at a 6.9. And I'll explain that here in just a second. Cameras, 48 megapixels across the board. 12 megapixel ultra wides for the base models, 48 for the pros. 12 megapixel selfie camera, it looks like. Telephoto, 12 megapixel 5x. Wi-Fi 7 is going to be on board the pro models only. 6E will be on the base models. And Face ID, IP68, USB Type-C. Okay, so real quick before we get into AMD news. So I think the 6.9 inch display is going to be too big. Now, the S24 Ultra, juggling these phones, right? Because that used to be my daily driver before I switched for months. Not months, but like 2 months before I switched to the OnePlus 12. I've been using the OnePlus 12 as my daily driver probably for, 4 or 5 weeks since I got it. Now, I've been using this as my daily driver and put my OnePlus 12 as my number 2 phone and keep this as my number 1. Switching between all these phones, whenever I go, I'm like, oh shit, I got that app or that picture or that info on the S24 Ultra. Whenever I go pull that phone and use it for whatever I need it, it is almost too big, quite honestly. That's like the only phone that I have to juggle around in my hand to make selections. And look, I'm no midget. I'm no little man, right? I'm six foot tall, 160 pounds, right? Like pretty average maybe, or a little bit bigger than average. But anybody smaller or with smaller hands is going to really struggle to use it. Now, I know and my point is the 16 Pro Max is going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger than the S24 Ultra. So I know there are some women that love to use the Pro Max this year. Maybe too big. But here's what they're doing. Now, this kind of surprised me because, and I might have to cross-reference myself. iPhone 16, I assumed before today was going to be a 6.1 inch display. 16 Pro was a 6.3 inch display. So we know this the 16 Pro is going to be 6.3. We need a 6.34, something like that, right? And the the 16 Pro Max got a lot bigger this year. And then I was surprised to see the 16 Plus at a 6.9. So I'm going to cross-reference and double-check my info that I presented to y'all today to make sure that's correct. But I think they raised the size of the Pro model, the 16 Pro, a little bit bigger because they don't want there to be that big of a gap size difference between essentially a 7-inch display in the 16 Pro Max and a 6-inch display in the Pro. That 1 inch is a huge, the big difference. So I think they needed something for those people that get the Pro Max and say, God dang, this thing is too big. I simply can't use it. Well, guess what? You're not gonna have to downsize so much, nearly an inch, to go back to the 16 Pro. they're gonna raise it a little bit. They're gonna make it a little bigger, so it doesn't seem like that big of a jump. So I think they've already thought about this beforehand. They must have. They throw around all sorts of ideas. So I think that's why you see the screen size increase in the Pro models. But this will be interesting. Look, Pixel's right around the corner. We got the Nothing Phone 2A Plus. Oh, wait, when does that get launched? I thought, is it this week? So we get the Nothing Phone 2A Plus, Pixel 9 series in 3 weeks, and then iPhone next month, the month after that. Let's see. Nothing Phone 2A launch. Plus. July 31st. Oh boy. Now, from what I hear on that, we'll get into AMD. It sounds like they're gonna put a better processor in it, right? And that's kind of when we got that news last week. That's kind of what I figured. It already has specs similar to the Phone 2, more expensive. Now, what processor would you like to see in there? I think I would like to see the Snapdragon. I don't know. They're probably going to put the mid-range in there. Again, you got to remember, these are not that expensive. I was going to say probably the 7 Gen 3 or 7S Gen 3, which is like their top of their mid-range. I don't know. I guess I have confidence in MediaTek now that I've been using it more. So, and it'll be in our Samsung tablets here soon. So, trust me, we'll cover that here in the next few days when that becomes live. Let's go to the AMD. So, AMD says not so quick. Qualcomm, not so quick. AMD, ouch, is saying, what the hell is that? Oh, I see. AMD is saying that their new manufactured CPUs, AI-driven CPUs, are so powerful that when tested could beat Intel's and Qualcomm's, as well as Apple's. Now, it didn't show evidence. Obviously, they didn't show benchmarks. They didn't show too many details in regards to the chips or the cores or nothing really detailed. But they came out and made a bold statement. Now, I know all of these companies are working on successors to their current flagship chips, right? That's what they do. So it's almost like the smartphone wars, where, and then you don't hear too much anymore, but maybe 5 to 6 to 7 years ago, Apple, their iPhone, like, it's the fastest phone ever, and then 6 months later, Samsung would put out their, I don't know, S7, S8, and be like, our phone is the fastest ever. And it's just back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. This will probably be like that, but I think the winner will be the consumer. I think the launch of these Qualcomm Snapdragon chips have really put some life. And have you seen the sales? The sales of laptops, I think, and or computers, quote unquote, are making a turnaround this year. I think they've been on decline for, I don't know the specific, but I did see a story, and I'll pull it maybe for just personal reference. But they're gonna sell more laptops and or computers this year than they have in previous years, and that's a big thing. That's a big deal, right? Now, I think I don't think this AMD chip is a ARM chip. I think it's still x86. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's a normal x86. I read this a while ago and I was thinking, I don't remember if I saw that in there. So let's see, do we get any more details out of here? So AMD held a 2-day event last week in Los Angeles. They revealed in-depth information about the new Strix Point Ryzen AI chips built on its brand new Zen 5 architecture. This new Zen 5 is supposed to be a big leap from the Gen 4. Now, Gen 3 going to Gen 4 was obviously an increase, right? But it wasn't a just astronomical power boost, right? In power efficiency. But appears they've maybe caught some magic with the Zen 5 because they're saying it's a drastic increase from the previous generation. That's why a lot of people didn't upgrade or didn't feel like they needed to upgrade from a Zen 3 architecture to a Zen 4. Some people are like, I'll wait around. But then when they see these Zen 5s, like, whoa, yeah, it's time to upgrade. And that may help in sales too, right? With the declining sales in the past, there's just nothing really to get excited about. Nobody's really pushing the boundaries. Everybody was just in this kind of constant, steady, we have a 15% increase this year and in power and 13% better efficiency. Something like that from every company every year. Until I guess Qualcomm came in earlier in the year and kicked in the door and said, look what we got. And then all these other companies were like, holy shit, we got to get on it. And now they're saying, look what we got. And now it's kind of propelling this to a whole new level. AMD says, but not only did AMD tell reporters its upcoming Ryzen, remember these are Zen 5, AI chips are faster than the Apple M3 and M3 Pro. It also said its new integrated graphics beat Qualcomm's current generation and Intel's last generation, while pointedly remarking that it can power AAA games in full high definition, including titles that simply don't work on some of our competitors, quote unquote. AMD also claimed that its NPU performs 50 trillion floating point operations per second, more than any of its Microsoft Copilot laptop competitors. So, what about the M4? Now, M4 is in production. It is being sold, but however, it is in an iPad, technically not in a PC environment, laptop environment, machine. So I think once, because that sounds like, well, what about the M4? Yeah, it's already out. And I was like, well, that's probably why. It's technically in a tablet. So I think once and remember, we've gone over the Apple roadmap with their devices. They're going to start putting out all their MacBooks beginning at the end of this year, M4s and beyond. So we will get an M4 MacBook at some point, probably at the end of the year. But it will be available, and then once those get released, then you'll see companies start competing against that and or bragging about those, right? No, that's pretty powerful. I don't know if they're gonna have enough to outperform that, but let's see. AMD says this new architecture gives these chips between 19 and 32% more graphic performance. No battery life mentioned, which means it's probably not much better. So, I don't know where this is in production. It's probably not close, but let me see what it says. Anyways, yes, wait for the reviews. We will, as soon as these get launched, the first laptops with AMD's, with this CPU, Strix Point chips, is going to be the Asus ZenBook S16, the ProArt P16. I think, Daniel, weren't you talking about that, Daniel? The ProArt one, right? I see. Wow. Yeah, because I was gonna say I think those are right around the corner. Oh yeah, it says we'll hit shelves on July 28th. Oh boy, it's about to get good. It was almost stale for, like I said, for a while. So I like to see this stuff heat up. Competition is good. We are the winners. The competition makes these companies put out better products, right? Hopefully, and competitive pricing makes them not, so high, right? Theoretically, it should help the price as well. But we're the ultimate winners when it comes to these companies competing against each other. So, cannot wait to see what we got entail. I still haven't purchased my. I did buy a laptop, but it was just it'll get me by. I still want to get something like this, one of these good ones. So, we will be on the lookout for any more cool stuff like that. Pixel. What do y'all think about this? This came out yesterday, or no, it came out today. I was like, we already knew this. I mean, unless the Pixel 9, unless we didn't know the base model was going to have a girly pink color, right? Looks cool, but I'm certainly not going to be using that pink color. White looks cool. I saw people online dogging on the white. Here's the thing. My Pixel 7 Pro is white. Same sort of thing, right? Oh, that's kind of cool. But when you see it in person, it hits different in person. Just something about if they're using that same kind of white, it looks a lot better in person. It looks really good in person. I mean, it's freaking awesome. So, I think that white will be fine. And pink if any women want a pink Pixel. So, no new news other than that when it comes to the Pixels. Actually, was there? I can't remember. I'll make sure I go through my checklist on the Pixel stuff and see if we got everything, but I think we're up to date with all that. Again, the prices looked higher, but we still don't know for sure. Anyways, there's this new app I'm going to try. Maybe y'all have heard of it. This is the last thing, and we'll get out of here. Have y'all tried BlackMagic? Nah. See, you're an insider. I knew it. I knew you're an insider as well. Or who are you talking about? You or them? Either way, we're gonna get good machines. So this BlackMagic, I mentioned it and I lightly used it. I didn't use it a lot. I was gonna do app review on it and I just stopped using it because I was switching phones so much. But now I'm not gonna have that problem. So BlackMagic was available originally for ooh, that would be nice. They usually do have a surprise for us, so I'm kind of hoping at the last second they'll throw in a nice color. It was available originally as BlackMagic camera. Now it's a video camera. It's not a still shot camera. Originally for iOS devices, iPhone devices. But I think like a month ago they released it for Pixel, right? And so I was like, wow, this is cool. Haven't heard of this, but I'll test it out. And then I started using it on the phone and just forgot about it, right? But now I don't have any excuse. Now this BlackMagic camera, video camera, and it's like a professional camera. I encourage you to download it and at the very least check it out, because if you're super detailed, if you know what you're doing when it comes to photography, lighting, taking videos, I sure as hell don't. I mean, look at the lighting going on here, but I encourage you to download it and mess with it. It has so many controls. You could probably film a movie with this, and I'm not even like really lying. Like, probably could if you got the right scenarios. You know what I mean. Now this BlackMagic camera app is available not only for Pixel devices, it's available for OnePlus devices, it's available for Nothing devices, and it's available for Xiaomi devices. Very cool. So I encourage you to download. It is a little intimidating when you download it. You open it up. There's a ton of stuff on the screen, as you can tell right there. There's a ton of stuff on the screen, but there's tutorials. Look at this. No film school. They're trolling you. There's those little things like this online that'll tell you how to work it, and it does. You probably can get better finished products if you shoot something just right than just holding your phone up and hitting record. I mean, if you know how to tweak everything, right? I'm gonna mess around with it. Maybe if I find it to be cool, then I will. I'll probably do a review on it. But if I can't really tell the difference, then maybe not. But I'm in the middle of doing an app review right now, and then again, we got testing on the Z Flip 6. We got testing on the new watch that came in today, the Watch 7. And I gotta get out of here, guys. It's late. I apologize. But stay tuned. I have a bunch of cool stuff on the way for y'all, for the viewers. So appreciate it. Have a good Monday afternoon. Hope you had a good Monday. I don't mind Mondays so much anymore, but let me get out of here. I gotta shut up. All right, guys. I'll see y'all same time, same place tomorrow. Peace.